All right, welcome back to Charlton Sports Weekly here at Anytime Fitness here in Folkestone, Georgia with Glenn Hughes and Stan Wilds. Right now we're going to go over a little bit of middle school sports, JV, softball, varsity softball, and so on. First of all, the middle school Braves. They're still practicing hard. Their scrimmage, I believe, is September the 1st against St. Mary's Middle, and it's over in St. Mary's. So get them, they're going to keep working, try to get better, and first scrimmage, find out exactly what they got, and go from there.
Yeah, I haven't been out there and watched them, but I know they're practicing almost as hard as he is. Kind of interested to see what we have in junior high ball this year. Just off the top of your head, do you remember what their record was last year?
No, I can't exactly remember, but I know, like I said, one of the better players they've got is Andrew Lee. He's a good-sized kid, plays running back, and I think if he sticks at it and keeps working, he's got potential to be a good one. And I know Andrew Chesser, he was playing center at the Soap game. He's a good-sized youngin'. And
I'm interested to see what they got, and I'm interested to see once we play some of these Florida teams too.
Right.
I like the aspect that we, kind of keeping it local, regardless of whether it's money issues with the school system.
Right.
I'd much rather see our kids play Yulee or West Nassau or a Hilliard, and some of those kids they know, rather than go up to Jeff Davis and play. Osceola, Jeff Davis. I remember when my boys was in junior high, we would go to Athling County, McIntosh County, Jeff Davis County, and that's a pretty decent ride, so I'd rather keep it local.
That's true.
And build some rivalries on that level.
And plus, it'll allow more people to go see them play.
I imagine if they continue to play Hilliard and West Nassau, that's a 10-minute drive to Hilliard and 20 minutes to West Nassau. So I know I would attend those games.
Right. But like I said, they're going to keep working at it, and September 1st, and first chance you got to see exactly what they're all about. I know Jack Thomas and Coach Bill Shepard, Marty Strickland, and Chris Kraft, they're working them hard, so support these kids. They'll be your future Indians. Yep. Also, on a side note, the Charlton Sports Weekly at charltonsportsnet.com will be webcasting a game of the week every week during the seasons. It may be a softball game, might be a JV game, maybe everything but varsity football. So if you check at charltonsportsnet.com, there will be, like I said, the game of the week. Not exactly sure which ones he'll be doing, so you have to check the site to see which game will be webcast live. Board of Education was good enough to permit us to do this, so it'll be good for those who aren't able to attend the games, and you can see it. I believe it'll be on tape delay too, so if you can't see it live on the internet, at least you can go back and look at it,
watch the archive first.
Right.
A lot of parents, the junior high, I believe their games start at 5 o'clock still.
Right.
And some parents can't get off work and they can't see it. And, I know if my youngin made a spectacular play or an interception for a touchdown and I didn't see it, I'd want to see it.
You're right.
And we don't film junior high games, or if your daughter's playing JV or varsity softball, you may not be able to make the game, and if that's the game of the week, then it'll be archived on Charlton Sportsnet Weekly, and if your kid makes that great play, you can check it out and see it.
That's
So
right.
that'd be good for parents that can't make it to all their games, as long as that's the game of the week.
Moving on to softball now, the The varsity Maidens traveled to Fitzgerald last weekend and competed in a tournament there. They ended up playing 3 games. They won one, they lost one, and they tied one. And you ask how can you tie a game in softball, but apparently they had time limits on the game, so whenever the time limit was up, whatever score was, that's what it was. So
strange for a baseball or a softball game to be tied, but it is what it is, and it's good that at least they got one in the win column. They beat Fitzgerald, right?
Right.
And lost to Hawkinsville and tied Bacon and Charter.
Right. Like I said, they started off the day against Bacon and Charter, and I believe the final score of that one was 4-4. And the Maidens were trailing 4-2 going to what ended up being the last inning, and then they rallied and to at least tie the game up. Against Hawkinsville must be pretty good because they jumped on us quick and scored, I think, 6 runs in the first 2 innings before we got on the board. I think we scored twice. But then Hawkinsville jumped back up and scored 3 more times, and we ended up getting beat 9-2.
And closed out with a win against Fitzgerald.
Right. And they had to come from behind to win that one.
That's good. That's good. They persevered.
I think Fitzgerald came, I believe it was 4-0 the first inning. We were down. And they chipped away, and then the last inning, I think they took the lead, and I think it was 6-4, and I think Fitzgerald might have scored one more time, and I think we ended up beating them 6-5. So it's always good to get that first one under your belt.
Yeah. And they play in another tournament coming up this weekend, correct?
Right. They're going to Baconton, Georgia. Probably a bunch of people probably never heard of Baconton.
Southwest Georgia, right?
Right, just south of Albany. Don't blink because you might miss it. That's my neck of the woods, so I know exactly the field right off the highway in a pecan orchard. So
maybe like Statenville, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit smaller. Huh?
Yeah, probably so. But like I said, they'll be there this weekend, Friday and Saturday nights. I don't know the opponents yet or what time they play, but I'm sure next week we'll be back with hopefully some good results.
Yeah, hopefully they'll fare well in this tournament, and we'll have some good news and some stats on them. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it today. We were supposed to be joined by Maiden's head coach, Mike Baxter.
Right.
But he couldn't make it, so maybe we'll be able to get him on at a later date for some more in-depth info on the girls softball program here.
So from what he sent me, I think Ashton Cruz had a pretty big tournament, especially the last game. I think she was involved in a lot of the scoring as far as getting on base and getting around and scoring the runs.
Right.
Kristen Spurlock had a couple big hits, drive-in runs. Jennifer Barnes. I believe Randy Lepley did well in the tournament. So if I forgot somebody, please forgive me. But I believe, play as a team, and I think they all did well, and they'll move on. And after this weekend, they're going to be wore out after this weekend, playing Friday and Saturday, and they're going to turn around. Monday, they will play their first home game here at the high school field. So it'll be a JV varsity doubleheader against Brantley County. I believe it starts at 4 o'clock. So JV will play first, play at 4 o'clock, and the varsity will be right after that. So that'll be your first chance to see them live and in person. So come on out and support the Maidens.
Be good to see them. Finally here at the home field after these last 2 weekends of tournaments. And I'm looking forward to watching them and seeing some good action out there.
Right. I believe on Tuesday also they'll be back on the road again. I believe they're going to Atkinson County, so they're going to get their fill of the road early in the year. So hopefully later on they'll have plenty of home games.
I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. That'll pretty much wrap up this segment of Chalk Sports Weekly. We'll be right back after this brief message.